Biggest takeaway for me was to be prepared and make sure you have a strategic process in your selling appointment, the interview process as a whole. Don't walk in without a plan, and just make sure you have good questions to ask. You get in a sales situation and you don't have the right questions, you look kind of silly standing there talking to a business owner about yourself or about your company when he really wants to talk about himself. So those are definitely things I think taken away, won't take a whole lot of time to develop, but will be very beneficial in the sales process.
Biggest takeaway for me from the whole experience was just to learn to be relatable to the customer, to make sure that you can relate to them, research them, add value to what they have going on. So it's not necessarily going in, I'm gonna get you for the sale, but to be relatable, build that rapport, spend that time to invest in that relationship, be warm and friendly and genuine, and get more sales.
I guess I would say my biggest takeaway today from Glenn's talk was my attitude about selling. I've had a negative connotation for years, since I was a kid, I think, and always said I would never be in sales. And actually, here I am today. So I tell myself it's more about telling than selling. And just appreciate Glenn's honesty and his ease with how he shares his stories.
Selling today is different than it was, say, 10 or 15 years ago. I find that the purchasers today tend to be a little bit more sophisticated. They typically have been on the internet, they've been looking, doing some research, and they're really more interested in a consultation today than somebody trying to just pitch something to them. So I think as sales professionals today, we have to be more relational, we have to be more consultative, and approach our prospects with tremendous respect their knowledge, respect their research, and serve more as a guide or a trusted advisor. We have a process around the acronym for the word READ, R-E-A-D. And I like to have our clients thinking about that. The R stands for relate. The first thing we want to do is begin to establish a relationship. Establish a friendship, try to build some rapport, and begin this conversation in a warm, friendly, helpful manner. And so we start with R, relate. The E stands for establish the need. We want to ask good questions, questions that draw out what they're really concerned about, what they're really burdened about, what their pain is, or what their aspiration is. And establish that need, not just for us, but for them, so they're clear in their heart and mind about what they need and what problem they're trying to solve. And then the A stands for advance a tailored solution. Once we identify their need, then we want to advance a solution that meets their specific need. The truth is, we probably have a dozen different solutions, but there's only one that matters to our prospect at that moment, and that's the one they're talking about. So that's the advancing a tailored solution. And then the D stands for develop a commitment. I want to begin a relationship and have a next step. If they don't buy now, is there a good logical next step? What would they feel comfortable with, and keep the process going? So we use that model for READ, R-E-A-D. Relate, establish the need, advance a tailored solution, develop a commitment. There are several things we talked about today that people can do to improve their selling conversation, but if there's one thing I hope everybody took away from today is this: learn to ask better questions. Questions are powerful, and just asking the common, typical, tired questions that everybody else in your industry asks, that doesn't help you in your selling conversation. So I encourage people to think about their questions before they have that appointment. In fact, you may even want to write them down and ask good, powerful questions that get to the heart, not just the head, but help you and that prospect really reflect and understand what the needs are.